All right, welcome. We are here today, top of the hour, talking about how to hack-proof your smartphone. Some people are still filtering in here, so we'll let that continue and dive right on into today's presentation. It's going to be somewhat more of a brief presentation, but again, I want to thank you for taking some of the time out of your busy schedule to be with me here today. My name is Eric Hagan. I am a wealth manager, a financial advisor. I'm also president of Capital Consulting Group here in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. And one of the most common cybersecurity questions that I get from clients and prospective clients is about protecting your smartphone from hackers. And it makes sense that this is such a hot topic since our cell phones have gone from devices that could only make calls to essentially mini computers that we can fit in our pockets. They hold nearly all of our personal information and often our work data as well. They are a gold mine for hackers, and it is incredibly important that we are protecting these devices correctly. So today, I'm going to be going over 8 things that you can do that will make your smartphone more secure. We have a lot to cover, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And to get started, I'm going to tell you a little story regarding someone by the name of Jared Kenna. So Jared was working late one night when he received notification that the passwords on 2 of his email accounts had been changed. He then attempted to reset the passwords himself, worrying that someone had control of his account, but he never got the text message code that he needed to complete the reset. So he called his phone company to make sure that he had paid his bill on time, thinking that that may be why he did not get the text message. But they tell him, "You don't have a phone with us. You transferred your phone to another company." Someone had forwarded Kenna's number from T-Mobile to a carrier called Bandwidth that had a Google Voice account linked to it. All of Kenna's texts and calls were being routed to the Google Voice account. With control of his phone number, the hackers began resetting Kenna's passwords. The text message verification codes were sent to them instead of Kenna. Within 10 minutes, they changed the password on 2 email accounts, 2 bank accounts, PayPal, 2 Bitcoin services, his Windows account, and about 20 more accounts. What's worse, Kenna was an early adopter of Bitcoin and had millions of dollars worth saved on an encrypted hard drive. A few weeks before the hack, Kenna had moved the Bitcoins online and protected them with a 30-character password. But the hackers got in and moved the coins. Kenna lost millions. When this story was released, Kenna still did not have control of his phone number back. So how did this happen? Jared Kenna was missing a crucial security feature on his mobile phone account, a PIN. Now, here we're not talking about a passcode on your physical device, although you should have that as well. But what we are talking about is a PIN that you use to make changes to your mobile account online or over the phone. This means that anytime you call your mobile carrier or go online to your account, you'll be prompted to enter that special PIN before you can add or remove any phone numbers or change any billing information. It is the number one thing you should do to protect your smartphone from hackers. And I've seen examples of this scam happen to businesses and individuals. I heard the story of one business where the CFO was targeted. Hackers got in and forwarded his number to their own number with the intention of getting into the company's bank account. They did not succeed, but it was frightening and took some time to clean up. So to do this, call your mobile phone carrier and ask to put a PIN on your account. Smartphone security seems to be a pain point for most people, and that makes sense. Our smartphones hold a lot of data: contacts, pictures, emails, banking apps, social media accounts, notes, calendars, messages, sensitive work information, and more. And our cell phone number is one key into our digital lives. Like Jared, many of us use our phone number as part of our security system. If you have 2-factor authentication set up on your accounts, you know that a special code is sent to your mobile device to complete the login process. If a hacker already knows your password, controlling your phone number is the final step, meaning a hacked mobile account could turn into a hacked digital life. The need to protect our smartphones from hackers is obvious. I've been educating myself on cybersecurity as a whole because it affects everyone. We're all worried about a hacker coming in and wiping our bank accounts clean, and I think it's my duty to help you protect yourself from these threats. So that's why we're here today. And we have a lot to cover, and we don't have time to cover in-depth instructions for all smartphone types, but I will be giving general instructions for iPhones and Android devices. It may not be exactly the same for your device, but a quick Google search of the action in your device should help you find step-by-step instructions that you can follow. So number one, protect your mobile account with a PIN. This is what we were talking about earlier with Jared Kenna's account. Just as a review for everyone, I can't stress this enough. Here we are talking about setting up a PIN with your mobile account carrier, not a PIN on your physical device. Anytime you make changes to your mobile account online, over the phone, or in the store, you'll have to provide this PIN. It's essentially like freezing your credit. Until that PIN is given, your account cannot be changed. Again, to set this up, call your mobile carrier. Remember, don't pick a PIN that is easy to guess. So no birth date, no last 4 digits of your phone number or otherwise. The second action that you need to take is to lock your phone with a passcode. And here we are talking about your physical device. A study by Consumer Reports found that 2 million smartphones and tablets are stolen each year, and millions more are lost. And those picking up your phones are curious. Symantec, a company, did an experiment where they dropped 50 smartphones in common areas like mall food courts and elevators. None of the phones had a passcode. They discovered that 89% of people who found one of these phones opened personal apps such as online banking. 60% opened social media and email apps. 57% tried to open a passwords file. And while 50% of the finders tried to contact the owner of the phone, half of them also took a dive into the owner's personal life. This is such an easy task, but yet 1/3 of smartphone owners don't protect their device with a passcode. You want to choose the most secure passcode option available to you. For iPhone users, that means selecting a 6-digit numeric code or the custom alphanumeric code. To do so, go to Settings and then Touch ID and Security. Android users can choose between a lock pattern, 4-digit passcode, or 16-digit passcode. A lot of people like using the lock pattern, but security experts warn that is not secure. They say that someone who found your phone could guess the pattern by seeing your fingerprints on the screen. So obviously the 16-character passcode is the most secure option. And you can set this passcode in your settings. A simple passcode will protect your privacy in case your phone is lost or stolen. An added plus of adding a passcode to your phone is that it will actually encrypt all of the data as well. And more specifically on iPhones running iOS 15 or later and Android devices running Android 6.0 Marshmallow. With this change, neither Apple nor Google can access the data on your phone. Only your passcode can decrypt the files. And an interesting note, depending on your situation, you may want to consider disabling the Touch ID feature on your iPhone. Law enforcement can force you to use your finger to unlock your phone, but they cannot force you to give up your passcode. All right, number 3, use a Find My Device program. If your phone is lost or stolen, you'll be glad you put a passcode on it, but you'll also want a way to try to get your phone back. Both Apple and Android phones have built-in features that allow you to track your phone, remotely turn off and lock your device, and even delete the data stored on your device. For Apple users, this is called Find My iPhone, and it is pre-installed on any iPhone running iOS 7 or higher, which your phone absolutely should be. We'll get into that later. You can enable it by going to Settings, iCloud, and enabling Find My iPhone. Android released Android Device Manager for their devices. To turn this feature on, go to Settings, Google Settings, and then Security. Note that for both types of devices, you'll need to have your location services on for the features to work. Next, you need to be updating your software and apps. A lot of times people are reluctant to update their phone software because they don't want a new operating system that changes how everything looks. The problem there is that these updates are not just cosmetic. They also close known security vulnerabilities with your device. Putting off the update because you don't want your Messages app to change is putting your security at risk. For example, Apple released an update recently that closed some serious security issues, including one that allowed a malicious application to take complete control of your phone. The vulnerability would have allowed hackers to add files, delete files, install malware, record conversations, and a lot more. So you need to update your operating system when you get that notification. Now, if you have an iPhone and it is constantly telling you that you're running out of storage and you don't have room for the update, here's a trick. You can update your iPhone operating system by plugging your phone into your computer and updating via iTunes. The operating system is not the only program on your phone that you need to keep updated. All of your apps need to be updated as well. Again, sometimes it may seem like the update is just cosmetic, but there is a lot going on behind the scenes. Hackers can find their way into your phone through unupdated apps, so be sure you're updating always. And as a note, you only want to be downloading apps from the official app stores for your device. So Apple's App Store or Google Play. Apps not sold in these stores are not checked for malware or privacy settings and could compromise your privacy and security. Another important action you need to do regularly to hack-proof your phone is to back it up. And you should be backing your phone up to two places, the cloud and your computer. The reason you want to regularly back up your phone is so that if something does happen, you download malware, your phone is hacked or otherwise, you can do a factory reset and essentially erase your phone while knowing your data is safe in two other places. Once you clear your phone, you can re-download your data from a backup. A backup will protect you if you lose your phone as well. You'll be able to move everything to your new device. Your smartphone is essentially a mini computer and you need to treat it as such. We protect our computers with antivirus software, and if you use an Android phone, you need to find a good antivirus program for it. Specifically, attacks on Android devices continue to grow. The antivirus program you use for your computer may come with protection for your phone, so you'll want to look into that. Some of the highest rated antivirus programs for Android phones are Avast, Bitdefender, and McAfee. But do your research to find the program that works best for you. iPhone users cannot install antivirus apps on their phone. In 2015, Apple began pulling antivirus apps from the App Store, saying that iOS works securely on its own. If you do a search of the App Store, you may see apps for some of the big name antivirus companies. Those apps, however, are not true antivirus apps. Instead, they do things like put an extra lock on your phone or include a Find My Device feature. They don't scan for viruses or malware on your device. If you use an iPhone, keeping your iOS up to date will keep you protected. Number 7, one of the best things about having a smartphone is that you can connect to the internet anywhere, anytime. But that ease of connection can also leave you at risk. If you connect to unsecure Wi-Fi on your device, you're susceptible to hacking and spying. Many hackers will create spoofed Wi-Fi networks that look like networks you have connected to in the past or networks that should be trusted. For example, maybe you go to Starbucks and there's a network called Starbucks One, right? If you connect or your phone automatically connects, the hacker can install malware on your device, steal your data, or spy on what you're doing. If you have, if you have to connect to unsecure Wi-Fi, and by that we mean public Wi-Fi at your local coffee shop that everyone can connect you to, you don't want to access any sensitive information. That means Don't log into your email. Don't do any online banking, and don't enter your credit card anywhere. If you do need to do any of these actions when you're on the go, I recommend that you turn off the Wi-Fi and use your data. Doing so will basically turn your phone into a hotspot and will create a private connection for you to use. Of course, if you have a limited amount of data, you'll want to monitor your use closely to be sure that you don't go over your limit. If you connect on the go a lot, you may consider investing in a mobile hotspot device. These devices cost anywhere from $50 to $130 plus the cost of the wireless broadband. And you'll want to treat this device as you would your wireless router. You must choose the strongest encryption settings and change the default username and password. You don't want strangers using your connection. Another good option is a VPN app. A VPN, or virtual private network, creates a private internet connection for you to use via the available Wi-Fi. It's basically an encrypted tunnel from your device to the internet. Again, this is something you'll want to do some research on to find the product that best fits your needs. Some highly rated apps are VPN by NordVPN, Private Internet Access VPN, and TunnelBear VPN. If you use a Nexus phone, you're in luck. Nexus devices running 5.1 and above had a feature called Wi-Fi Assistant. Wi-Fi Assistant automatically connects you to open Wi-Fi, but it also connects to a VPN managed by Google. It doesn't yet work on all Wi-Fi connections, but you can enable the feature through Settings, Google, Networking, Wi-Fi Assistant. So you go to Settings, then Google, Networking, and Wi-Fi Assistant. It's also important that you turn off Bluetooth when you're not using it. Like an unsecure wireless network, hackers can spoof these and gain access to your device. And lastly, number 8, encrypt your communications. In recent years, 60 Minutes did a piece on smartphone vulnerability. In it, they spoke to a researcher who explained how hackers could listen and record any conversation, read your messages, and track your location. This is possible due to a flaw in something called Signaling System 7, or SS7. This is a virtual global network that connects phone carriers. It's the system that allows different mobile carriers to exchange billing information and allows your phone to have service. Problem is, criminals have found their way into SS7 systems, which allows them to intercept and record any calls made. And there are other ways hackers or others can listen to your conversations and read your text. They can send you attachments that install malware, or they can trick you into connecting to a malicious Wi-Fi network that they control. So the solution: to keep your communications private, encrypt your messages. I know the word encryption sounds complicated and scares people, but today's technology has made the process pretty easy. Encrypted messages can only be read by the people communicating in the conversation. To everyone else, the messages look like random characters strung together. Apple's iMessage, the messaging platform used between iPhones, is encrypted by default, but only if you're communicating with another iPhone and there is a proper data connection. Facebook's messaging system is also encrypted if you choose a new feature called Secret Conversations. When using the Facebook Messenger app, click the New Conversation button in the upper right and then select Secret on the next screen. You'll only be able to do this if you're running an updated version of Messenger, and if the person you're communicating with also has an updated version of the app. There's another reason to update your apps all the time. WhatsApp, Pretty Good Privacy, and Signal are other encryption messaging apps that are popular in the security industry. WhatsApp can only be used for messages, while Signal now has an encrypted calling feature, keeping your voice messages secure as well. Pretty Good Privacy is an email encryption service, and for all of these, the person you are communicating with also needs that program. So to summarize, these are the actions that you need to take to protect your smartphone from the hackers: mobile PIN account, passcode on phone, Find My Phone app, update software and apps, backup device regularly, protect phone with antivirus, use a safe Wi-Fi connection, and encrypt communications. Like all parts of cybersecurity, you need to decide the level of protection that you want for your smartphone. So with that, thank you all for joining me here today. I hope this brief presentation has given you some guidance on how to hack-proof your smartphone. This message was recorded, so if you have questions or you want to go back and watch again, it should be available on our website later on today. And as an idea for you, with something more detailed like this, watching the recording can be great because you can pause it as you work through any of the steps as we go along. If you'd like to learn more ways to be protected, I invite you to join me for my next educational workshop titled 1 Hour to Savvy Cybersecurity. We're going to cover 10 threats every person and business faces, as well as how to fight them now. You can visit the events page of our website and RSVP today so that you get the little reminder email as that date approaches. Of course, if you have any questions or you want to discuss your unique situation, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can find me online at www.erichagan.pro. That concludes our presentation here today. Again, thank you for taking a few minutes with me here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.